My name is Rupa, working as Assistant Professor in Chevrolet Engineering College in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. I am dealing the subject renewable energy sources. In that, today's topic is solar radiations data. These are the amount of values of solar radiation in different places. So our India, we know that our India lies between a latitude of 7 degrees and 37 degrees north. It receives an annual average intensity of solar radiation between 16,700 to 29,260 kilojoules per meter square per day. So this is approximately 400 to 700 calories per centimeters per day. Okay. The peak values are generally measured in April and May. So these peak values are measured in April and May with the parts of Rajasthan and Gujarat. These are receiving a 25,100 kilojoules per meter square per day. So this is approximately 600 calories per centimeter square per day. During monsoons also we can record this. During monsoons and winter months, the daily solar radiation decreases to about 16,700 kilojoules per meter square per day. And the annual daily diffuse radiation received over the whole country is about 7,300 kilojoules per meter square per day. This is approximately 175 calories per centimeter square per day. And we get the minimum values in November and December. The minimum values of diffuse radiation measured over many parts of the country during November and December are between 3,135 to 4,180 kilojoules per meter square per day. So this is approximately 75 and 100 calories per centimeter per day. And the maximum values measured over the country are about 12,550 kilojoules per meter square per day. This is especially we see in July in the parts of Gujarat. And approximately it is converted as 300 calories per centimeter square per day. These are the amount of values of solar radiation in our country in different places. So if you observe the table, we are getting April and May 25,100 and it is decreased to 3,135. There is a vast decrease from April, May to November and December in our country only. Okay, so in our country, Rajasthan and Gujarat is with highest solar radiations. So what is the estimation amount of average solar radiation we will measure now? So this is the expressions given below are the one of the earliest expressions for monthly average horizontal solar radiation, HAV. It is denoted by capital H, average AV, and it is given by Armstrong in the year 1924. The equation is given by the Armstrong in 1924 is HAV is equal to H0 dash under bracket alpha dash plus beta dash plus n by small n by capital N, where here alpha beta are the arbitrary constants. And one scientist, Fred, in 1951, he suggested the values of alpha and beta. So he suggested alpha value as alpha dash value as 0.35 and beta value as 0.61. So in this abbreviation, we see what are the abbreviations here. In this equation, we will see what are the abbreviations here. HO, it is the monthly average horizontal solar radiation measured for a clear day, not a cloudy day. For a clear day, we are taking HO. And N, here N is the average daily hours of bright sunshine for the same period. So for the same clear day, we are measuring, and this is the average daily hours of bright sunshine. And capital N is the maximum daily hours of bright sunshine for the same period. Small n is average, and this is capital N is maximum. And values of H naught dash for the equation 1 can be obtained from the below chart. So H naught dash values can be obtained from the below chart. So this chart is called as solar radiation on horizontal plane for a clear day at various latitudes you are taking. At phi is equal to 48, 36, 24, 12, 0 degrees like that. So at various latitudes you are calculating the solar radiation on a horizontal plane. The plane is not tilted one or vertical one. It is a horizontal plane and it is of clear day. Okay. And we are giving equations for the day length also. The day length can be obtained from nomogram developed by Wheeler, a scientist called Wheeler. In figure 2, we can see this. This is the figure 2. This is a nomogram to determine xi and hour of sunrise or sunset in solar time. So it is given by Wheeler in 1965. Or it can be from this figure we can calculate, or from the equation we can calculate. So what is this equation? Capital N is equal to TD, day length, is equal to 2 by 15 cos inverse minus tan phi tan xi. Okay, so after this equation, a better form of equation for 1, before what we have seen, given the equation given by the Armstrong, this is the equation HOAV, in terms HAV, and this can be in better form as previous equation can be converted into better form as HAV is equal to H naught into A plus B plus N by N. So here H naught dash is occupied by H naught and alpha and beta constants are occupied by A and B, where H naught is the average monthly insolation at the top of atmosphere. And A and B constants here are modified constant depending upon the location. These constants are modified. So constants A and B for various locations and climate conditions can be obtained from the standard tables what you are having. Okay, so below next slide have the table. It has the values of constants A and B for some India towns. So this is the table. It contains the constant values A and B for some Indian towns, for some major Indian towns. So see the A and B values for Ahmedabad 0.28, A 0.48. So this chart, from this chart we can know the various A and B constants of major towns. So Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Baroda, Bhavnagar, Bhopal, Calcutta, Goa, Jodhpur, Madras, Mangalore, Shillong, Srinagar, Trivandrum, Visakhapatnam, Nagpur, New Delhi, Pune, Roorkee. So these are the major towns given. So these are having the A and B values. So if any town in problems, if any town is given, we have to write this. What is the value of A? We have to remember, and B, and we have to substitute in the value of A and B for these respective towns. So this HO can be obtained from charts or from the empirical relation as H naught is equal to 24 by pi ISC. This is the solar current. 1 plus 0.033 cos 360 n by 365 into cos phi cos xi sin omega s plus 2 pi omega s by 365 sin phi sin xi. So this is the empirical relation for obtaining the H naught. where ISC is solar constant per hour, N is we know the day of the year, and omega S is sunrise hour angle. Only omega is hour angle. Omega S means sunrise or sunset hour angle. So from this declination angle can be given by Cooper equation. We see that before only. Next, sunrise hour angle. WS is equal to minus tan phi tan psi. This also we seen before. So from these equations we can solve any problem. So we will see the problem. Determine the average value of solar radiation. Determine the average value of solar radiation on a horizontal surface for June 22nd. The date is given on June 22nd and it is of horizontal surface at a latitude of 10 degrees. So phi is 10 degrees, and if constants A and B are given as equal to 0.30, A value is 0.30 and B value is 0.51 respectively, and the ratio N by N is equal to 0.55. So this is the given data. We will solve the problem now. First, we will solve for declination angle psi, and after that H naught. Okay, so declination angle from the chart we can find for the date June 22nd is 23.5 degrees sunrise. So our angle, sunset hour angle is, sunrise hour angle is omega S is equal to, what is the formula? Cos inverse minus tan phi tan psi. So in that phi will be equal to 10 degrees and psi will be, declination angle will be equal to 23.5. So if you substitute, we will get cos inverse of this value and final answer is 94.39 degrees. Okay, next we are calculating the value of N. N is day of the year, that is for June 22nd it is taken as 172 day. So N will be value of 172. So we have the relation for average insolation at the top of atmosphere as H naught is equal to 24 by pi ISC 1 plus 0.033 cos 360 N by 365 cos phi and cos xi sin omega S plus 2 pi omega S by 360 sin phi sin xi. So all the values, xi value, phi value, omega S value and N value are known except one value, ISC. So substituting all the values except ISC, we will get like this. So after substituting, only ISC is present as unknown term. So until now, we saw the solar radiation. What is the amount of solar radiation we are getting on a horizontal surfaces? Means smooth surfaces. If the surface is tilted, the solar radiation we are getting on the tilted surface is different from the horizontal surfaces. So the rate of solar energy on the earth surface on the ground depends on the orientation of surface with reference to the sun. Okay, so if a fully sun tracking surface that always faces the sun, if at all we are taking a full sun tracking surface that always faces the sun, receives the maximum possible solar energy at the particular location. If it is of full sun tracking area and the sun is towards the surface, we will get the maximum possible solar energy at that particular location. So if a surface of same area oriented in any other directions will receive smaller amount of solar radiations. Because solar radiation is such a dilute form of energy, it is desirable to capture as much as possible on a given areas. So most of the solar collectors are tilted to an angle to horizontal. It is tilted horizontal to convert the data for a hourly radiation on horizontal surface of radiation on a tilted surfaces. These solar collectors are tilted to the sun's direction to receive maximum solar radiation from the sun. So these are the types of collectors. Next we will see next chapters. So collectors are used to absorb the solar radiations from the sun. So when the sun's direction changes, these collectors will also be changing and tracking the sun's direction to receive maximum energy. Next definition is beam radiation. So we are calculating these all definitions, we are calculating these beam radiation, total radiation, diffuse radiation, all this for tilted surfaces. Up to now we have calculated for horizontal surfaces, and from now we have to calculate them for tilted surfaces also. So for the beam radiation for a tilted surface is, in most cases the tilted surface is due to south, due south. The direction is due south. So for due south means we are taking gamma is equal to 0. So we know before equations, if you put gamma is equal to 0, we will get cos theta is equal to sin xi, sin phi minus s plus cos xi, cos omega cos phi minus s. So this is the beam radiation for a tilted surface. For horizontal surfaces, if you put theta is equal to theta z zenith angle, then cos theta becomes cos theta z, that is equal to sin phi sin xi plus cos phi cos xi into cos omega. So it follows that the ratio of beam radiation falling on the tilted surface to the turf falling on horizontal, it is given by the ratio RB. It is Hd by H, that is equal to Hn cos theta t by Hn cos theta z. So tilted surface, ratio of tilted surface to horizontal surface, tilted surface to horizontal surface is equal to cos tilted theta by zenith angle theta cos theta z, that is equal to sin xi sin phi minus s plus cos xi cos omega cos phi minus s divided by sin xi sin phi plus cos xi cos omega cos phi. This is called as, the above ratio is called as tilt factor for beam radiation. So that the diagrams for this tilt factor is shown. The last one is total radiation. So total radiation means both beam and diffuse component of solar radiation. So these are observed for flat plate type collectors. This is one type of collector used for collecting the solar radiations. So the angular collection factor has been determined for beam radiation from equation 1. So before, as we discussed that, this is given for by equation 1. So collector factor for diffuse radiation can be applied for clear days. So for that it can be assumed that origin is near the sun, that is the scattering of solar radiation is mostly considering as forward scattering. So for such cases we are taking capital R is equal to RB, and here R is the correction factor for both directions and diffuse radiations. So here R is equal to, capital R is equal to HT by H, where HT is R into HB plus HD. For cloudy or hazy days, the diffuse radiation can be assumed as uniformly distributed over the skies, and this effective ratio of solar energy on tilted surface on a horizontal surface is, so if you are calculating this tilted surface effective ratio to the horizontal is R is equal to HT by H. HT is tilted and H is horizontal surface, is equal to HB by H into RB plus HD by H. So this is the conversion factor for diffuse radiation RD. So RD is given by the equation 1 plus cos S by 2. So if a surface is tilted at slope S from horizontal, the equation is 1 plus cos S by 2 of the sky dome. From the sky dome we are taking the equation as like this. So the tilted surface also sees ground or other surroundings, and if those surroundings have some diffuse reluctance of rho for solar radiations, the reflected radiation from the surroundings on the surface from the total radiation is defined as HB plus HD 1 minus cos S into rho by 2. Okay, so this is the equation of tilted surface having a diffuse reflectance of rho and reflected radiation from the surroundings on the surface from solar radiations. So we are having mainly three components. What are the three components? Beam radiation, diffuse solar radiation, and solar radiation reflected from the ground, which the tilted surfaces is. These are the three types of the components we are having, and all these three are considered. So we are combining all the three terms, three components, beam, diffuse solar and solar radiations reflected from the ground from the tilted surfaces into one term. So this is first considered, this all combining these three components into one term is considered by Liu and Jordan. So it is the equation given by Liu and Jordan. So HT, all the total is given by HT is equal to HB into RB plus HB into 1 plus cos S by 2 plus HB plus HT 1 minus cos S by 2 into rho, where R is equal to HB by H, RB plus HB by H 1 plus cos S by 2 plus 1 minus cos S by 2 into rho. So the value of diffuse reflectances given by Liu and Jordan are rho is equal to 0.2 when no snow is observed. You take the rho value as 0.2, and when the snow cover is observed, take rho is equal to 0.7. So for India, we are having no snows, so less area or less amount of snowfall will be there for India. So we are taking a value around rho is equal to 0.2 for a surface of concrete or glass. So for it on houses or on glasses, we are taking the rho value as 0.2. This but reflected radiation do not contribute much for our India, because reflected radiation in India, the value of S will not be exceed 30 degrees. Okay, so we can neglect this reflected radiation. So reflected radiation do not contribute much to the total, because India the value of S will be rarely exceeding 30 degrees. This is the first chapter, and in the second chapter you are going to see the collectors, how the solar radiation, how the solar energy is collected and it is used, and in what the ways it is using in different ways it is using, you will see in second chapter. So second chapter is solar thermal systems. So next we are gone to second unit, solar thermal systems. Okay, so here in this unit we are using the solar energy and we are utilizing that solar energy, and we are giving away that solar energy for various uses. Okay, so the solar radiation coming from the sun is collectible. We collect that solar radiation and we can transfer it directly, or we can indirectly use the solar radiation for many purposes. So the apparatus which collects the solar radiation is called a solar collector. So this solar collector is a device for collecting solar radiations. Okay, and this transfers the energy to fluid passing in contact with it. The energy absorbed by the sun is transferred to a fluid. Example, these fluids we can take as water or some other fluids or air, like that. So this solar energy which is collected by the solar collector is transferred to that fluid which is in contact with it. So these mainly solar collectors are of two types. First one is non-concentrating or flat plate type solar collector, and second one is concentrating or focusing type solar collectors. Okay, so there are subdivisions of these collectors also, we will see later. First, this solar energy collector is equipped with an observer. So this is the most important component for converting the solar radiation energy into more useful forms. So what are the usable forms? Heat or electricity, example, these are the usable forms for us. Okay, so the observer present in the solar collector is the most important component. Coming to the first one, non-concentrating or flat plate type solar collectors. In this, collected area will be equal to the observer area. Both are equal. And coming to the second one, concentrating collectors. In this, collector area is usually 100 times than the observer area. So the the collection of solar radiation is more and what you are getting output is less here. But by concentrating collectors, we can attain high temperatures. These are used to generate medium pressure steams. Whereas in non-concentrating type, we cannot go to that high temperatures. Okay. So for this collection, we use different arrangements of mirrors, lens to concentrate these sun rays on the boilers. So this has high efficiency. This second type of collector, concentrating collector, has high rate of efficiency than flat plate collectors. Okay, so still if you want any more efficiency, if you want best efficiency from these concentrating collectors, these concentrating collectors should be oriented to the sun's direction. So in which direction the sun is oriented, we have to orient the mirrors or lens used by us to that direction, so that it collects more energy from the sun. Okay, so we will see the physical principles of conversion of solar radiation into the heat. Actually, this is bestly observed by greenhouse effect. So what is this greenhouse effect means? The name itself, the name comes from its first use in the greenhouses, in which it is possible to grow a plant in cold climates through better utilization of sunlight. What is the sunlight available? With that sunlight we are going to grow the plants. This is the first use in greenhouse. So from the first use the name exists that it is a greenhouse effect. Okay, so we know that energy from the sun comes in the form of light. This light is having a shorter wavelength radiation. Okay, so due to these shorter wavelength radiations, it is not observed, it is not visible to the human eyes. So when this short wave radiation strikes a solid or liquid, when it fall on a solid or liquid, it is observed by that solid or liquid and it is transformed into the heat energy. Okay, so when the material or something solid or liquid absorbs that sun's energy, they becomes warm and they stores the heat absorbed by the sun's energy, solar energy, and they conduct it to surrounding materials. So this conducting of warming absorbed by the material to the surrounding materials is called as radiating. Okay, so this re-radiating or irradiating is through air, water or other solids or liquids. So this re-radiating to others is done in long wave distribution. Okay, until then we are getting short waves, and after the short waves are observed by a liquid or solid, it re-radiates. it re-radiates to other objects. So this re-radiating is done by long wave distribution. So visible sunlight is absorbed on the ground at temperatures of nearly 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, for example, if the solar energy emits infrared light at a wavelength of about 10 micrometers, CO2 in the atmosphere will be absorbing the light of that wavelength and it radiates back the part of it to the earth. Okay, so the CO2, the carbon dioxide present in the earth, it do not absorb the incoming sunlight which has shorter wavelengths. It absorbs only longer wavelengths. Okay, if you see that diagram here, the light is absorbed by the CO2 and partly some of the light is back radiated to the ground. So this greenhouse effect brings about an accumulation of energy on the ground. It has a capacity of accumulating sun's energy on the ground. So for this effect, mainly we are using a substance called glass, because glass easily transmits short wave radiations because it possesses little interface to incoming solar energy. But it has a disadvantage that it is very poor transmitter of long wave radiations. It transmits only short wave radiations. Okay, so when the sun's energy passes through the glass windows and absorbed by some material inside that glass windows, behind the glass windows we are putting some material. So when the sun's energy passes through the glass windows and it is absorbed by some material inside, the heat will not be re-radiated back outside from the glass, because glass acts as a heat trap. So for this reason we are using this glass in greenhouse. Okay, so glass acts as a heat trap and it is used in greenhouse effect, which warms in sunny days. Even in the middle of the winter also, this glass which traps the heat, accumulates the heat, radiates the energy in the middle of the winter also. So solar collectors of home heating has flat plate collectors and has one or more glass covers. So here I am showing the figure of principle of greenhouse effect. Here it is a black absorber and above that black absorber you are taking one glass. Okay, so this is a window ordinary glass. Here solar radiations are directly made to fall on the glass. So as shown in the figure, a black painted plate absorbs the incoming sun rays. This is the black painted plate. So it is fixed in associated with the glass. This is a ordinary window glass. So when the temperature of the black plate, when the temperature of this black plate increases, it emits an thermal heat in the form of infrared light. Okay, so up to some temperature it does not emit any emissions, any rays. After increasing to some extent of the temperature, it emits rays. Those rays will be in the form of infrared rays. Okay, this black plate has the properties of a black body. It acts like a black body. Actually, ideal black bodies do not have highest absorption rate. Those not only have a highest absorption rate, but it also has highest emission coefficient for all the wavelengths of light. Okay, so we know that black absorbs more light. So we know the fact that black absorbs more light. So not only it absorbs more sunlight, it also emits the same sunlight with all the wavelengths. Not shorter, not longer. With all the wavelengths, it has the highest emission coefficient. So this emission will be increasing with increasing in temperature. So if this continues, the re-emitted light, if so progressively continues of shorter wavelength and greater energy as the temperature of the black body will be increasing. So this theory is expressed, this temperature of the black body increased, and it is expressed by Wien's law. Okay, so what is this Wien's law? Gamma maximum is equal to into T is equal to constant. It is a constant value of 2989 micrometers Kelvin. Okay, where T is the surface temperature of the black body and gamma maximum, it is the wavelength at which the light emission reaches the maximum value. So for this explanation we are taking some examples which are shown in this slide. In the figure this is the figure of emittance of black body at different temperatures. What is the emittance? So on the x-axis we are taking the wavelengths in micrometers, and on the y-axis we are taking emittance. So we know that the sun emits radiation like a black body only. Okay, so sun is emitted like a black body whose surface temperature will be about 5700 Celsius. So this sun has a maximum emission of 0.5 micrometers. If you are assuming the sun as a black body, it is also, we are telling that black body emits the radiation. Okay, so this sun also emits like a black body and it emits radiation, and the surface temperature of the sun is about 5700 Celsius.